Good morning, students. Welcome to the lecture of Operation Research. In today's lecture, we are going to study the graphical method of solving 2 by n or m by 2 types of game. Before that, we will just have a look to the concepts we have studied in the last lecture. In this, we have started with an example of solving by arithmetic method. I have told you how to use this shortcut method for solving by arithmetic method. If this is a 2 by 10, 2 by 2 type game given to us for the players A and B, then these are the formulas actually we have derived, which gives us the values of probabilities of activities for the player A, x1 and x2, that of V gives us the value of a game. Similarly, y1, y2 are the values of probabilities of the activities played by the player B. These are the formulas we have derived. Okay. Now, in order to, it is somewhat, it may be difficult for you to remember the formulas and just execute. So, we were going to deal with the shortcut method. What the shortcut method tells us, what we have to do start with, we have to take a difference of first row elements, ignore the negative sign and put the difference under second row, right? Similarly, take the difference of second row elements, ignore the negative sign and put it under column number 1, sorry, row number 1. Do the same thing for the columns, that is get the difference of first column elements, neglect the negative sign, put it under column 2. Similarly, get the difference of column 2 elements, neglect the negative signs and put it under column 1. And then we will go for optimal strategies. Optimal strategies are actually the probabilities of playing both the activities for the player A and B respectively. X1, X2 are the probabilities of playing the activities for the player A, that of Y1, Y2 are the probabilities for playing the activities with respect to the player B. Therefore, for X1, what we will write? For X1, we have written this oddment value. Whatever the differences we were finding are called as the oddment. Then whatever is the difference divided by sum of these two differences. Divided by sum of these two differences. Therefore, the value of X1 is 1 upon 1 plus 4, that is 1 upon 5. Similarly, the value of X2 is 4 upon 1 plus 4, that is 4 by 5. The value of game is obtained by, if you just observe this numerator of the value of a game, this is V11, V11 minus V22 minus V12 into V2. That is the value for determinant. So here we will find out the value for determinant. The value of determinant 5 into 4, it is 20 minus 3, that is 17. 17 upon the same 1 plus 4, that is 17 upon 5. Similarly, one can find out y1 by 2 and the value of game will be same for the with respect to the second player as well. Okay, this is what the shortcut method by arithmetic for solving the games of 2 by 2 type, right? Then we have seen the principle of dominance to reduce the size of a game. Whatever is the size of your payoff matrix, one can use this principle of dominance to reduce the size, or we will try to convert this m by n size game of a matrix, game matrix to 2 by 2. Once we reduce it to 2 by 2 type, it will be easier for us to use the arithmetic method. This is the general game. Okay. Then we have seen what is inferior and superior strategies. Whenever we have two strategies A and B, say with values A1 to AN and the values B1 to BN, whenever we were saying AI is greater equal by BI, then A is a superior strategy to B, or B is inferior strategy to A. And dominance says that whenever A is superior to B, then A dominates B. Then A dominates B, or B is dominated by A. Okay. One can use any statement A dominates B or B is dominated by A. Then the dominance property says that whenever an ith row of a payoff matrix is dominated by rth row, then deletion of ith row does not change the optimal strategies for the row player, that is player A. Means here we can delete the inferior row. Similarly, for the column, if jth column of C dominates kth column, then deletion of jth column does not change the optimal strategies for the column player, that is player B. That is, here we can delete the superior column. The dominance property simply says that delete the inferior row with respect to player A and delete superior column with respect to player B. Why we were deleting this? We have seen the reasons, right? Then generalized dominance property says that if ith row of a payoff matrix is dominated by the convex combination of other rows, then also one can delete the ith row, that is inferior row. Similarly, if jth column dominates the convex combination of the other column, then deletion of jth column does not affect the optimal strategies for the player B. Here is one example we have seen. Okay, third column, third column is superior to first column. Third column is superior to first column. That is, third column dominates first column. Therefore, one can easily delete this superior column. Therefore, deleting this superior column, we remain with two column, three rows. Now, here if we observe again, third row is superior to second row. Therefore, second row is inferior, third row is superior, and we can delete the inferior row. Therefore, here we have reduced with a payoff matrix of size 2 by 2. Now one can use an arithmetic method to find out the optimal strategies of the player A and optimal strategies of the player B and the value of gain as well. Okay. Here, second example can be evaluated with a similar reasoning. Right? I ask you, I just want to ask you that if you have any difficulty among both the methods of arithmetic and dominance, you can ask me. Otherwise, today we will go for a next method of the syllabus, graphical method for 2 by n and m by 2 gains. Is any difficulty up to this? If not, we can continue with the today's lecture. Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we will go for graphical method of 2 by n, m by 2 games. First, we will discuss the graphical method for 2 by n games and m by 2 games. Can anyone tell me what is 2 by n games? How many activities with respect to player A and with respect to player B in 2 by n games? How many activities player A have? How many activities player B have? Yes, students? Two by n is the size of your payoff matrix, right? No? Then how many activities with respect to player A have? If the order of a matrix is 2 by n, what does it mean? What about the entries of the matrix? I think at least you can tell me the entries. I hope I'm clearly audible to everyone. This is 2 by n matrix, no? With the entries, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then what about the number of activities with respect to player A and with respect to player B? At least now I expect an answer from students.
N activities.
N activities to which player?
Player
Where we were writing player
B.
A, player B.
प्लेयर बी वर प्लेयर
हाँ,
एच्या सोबत प्लेयर एच्या सोबत एन ऍक्टिव्हिटीज आहेत.
player A ला N येतं का?
एला 2 आहेत आणि बी ला n.
हा एला 2 बी ला एन.
Yes, player A has 2 activities. Player B has N activities. See, I told you already that whenever we were writing an M by N matrix, what does it means? Player A has M activities. Player B has N activities. Right, no? Okay. Now here I can write the 2 activities for the player A as say A1 and A2. Similarly, I will write the activities for the player B as say B1, B2 to Bn. right? Okay, no doubt we were discussing this method for the games without saddle point. Therefore, if it is the game without saddle point, what does it mean? This is the game with mixed strategies. Means it is the game not having the pure strategies. Now, what is in the mixed strategies? In the mixed strategies, the player A is playing all the strategies simultaneously with some probabilities. Therefore, what are the probabilities for the player A? If I write the probability for the player A to play the activity A1, let it be x1. Then what is the probability to play the second activity A2? What is the probability? Many times we have written this, no? This is 1 minus x1. Why? Actually, we were writing this as x2. It should be x2 actually. But what the fact is known to us? x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. Therefore, I can write x2 is equal to 1 minus x1. Sum of both the probabilities is 1. This is the idea, and every probability value is non-negative. Therefore, what about the probabilities of the player B playing all these activities? Let me write this as some y1, y2 to yn. Correct now? Why this is so? Because this is the game with mixed strategies, right? This is the game with mixed strategies. Players were playing all the activities with some probabilities. This is what an idea behind the mixed strategies. If it is the case of pure strategies, then every player is playing one activity at a time. This is what the concept is. Now, in previous methods, we have seen whenever we have a game with mixed strategies, that is for a game without saddle point, we have calculated the expected gain and expected loss of both the players. Correct, no? It will not be an exact gain or exact loss. We cannot calculate the values exactly because these are the probabilities known to us. Correct, na? These are the probabilities. Okay. Therefore, with the help of probabilities, if I am finding the gain of a player A and loss of a player B, then the values are expected gain and expected loss. Now we will first try to find out what we were doing with respect to player A. We were first finding minimum expected gain, then we were trying to maximize the minimum expected gain. Right now, player A, we were trying to maximize minimum expected gain. Correct? With respect to player B, we were trying to minimize maximum expected losses. How we were finding these expected gains with respect to player A? Assuming player B plays one activity at a time, we were finding the expected gain of the player A. Therefore, here also, if we assume player B plays first activity only, then what will be the expected gain of a player A? Okay. What we were trying to assume? Player B plays one activity at a time. Assuming this point, we were finding the expected gain. Then we were trying to minimize the expected gain, and then we were trying to find out the value of x1 such in order to find out maximum among minimum expected. Is that okay? Therefore, what is the expected gain of a player A if player B chooses B1 as an activity to play? Therefore, here what I will write? I will write B's pure strategy. That is, if B chooses to play pure strategy, then what we will find out? We will find out A's expected payoff. What is the payoff? We know exactly it is the gain. Therefore, I can write it is a payoff or gain. What is the symbol we have given for the expected gain? EJ, no? Right. Therefore, So you just tell me, if B plays the first activity B1, what is the A's expected gain? आता कुणाला खूप वेळा घेतलंय मी हे. Actually this was the third or fourth time I am doing the same thing. Minimum expected gain. Once we have done it in the arithmetic method, once we have done it in the graphical method. What is A's expected gain? Yes, students. No one has understood this idea. If you have not understood this concept of expected gain, then you cannot understand any of the methods. Please do remember this.
Ma'am, is it V11 X1 plus V21 X2?
Yes, it is correct. V11 x1, V21 into 1 minus x1. Why we were finding this like this only? Because we have said that B is chooses to play B1 only. If B chooses to play B1 only, then A will play both the activities with the probabilities x1 and 1 minus x1. Then this pair of entries will give us the expected gain. So what is the pair of entry? V11. V11 into the corresponding probability. V21 into its corresponding probability will be player A's expected gain if B chooses to play first activity B1. Correct? I think I told you this hint also. Whenever we were finding player A's gains, go column wise. And whenever you are finding B's expected losses, you have to go row wise. I think we have discussed this in detail in that LPP method. Right now? Okay. Therefore, shall I say, if B chooses to play B1 as a pure strategy, then A's expected gain will be V11 x1 plus V21 into 1 minus x1. Is it understood to everyone? Or shall I go to that that lecture in which I have introduced this expected gain concept? Or you just go to that lecture and just see the lecture repeatedly? Is that okay? Okay. The understanding expected gain is an important concept. For this, I told you what is an expectation also, mathematical expectation. I have given you the basic definition as well. X into P of X. Summation X P of X is the basic definition. And as these are the probabilities, we don't know the exact number of occurrence. Right? These are the probabilities. We have discussed what is the probability as well. I have started with defining the probability. Okay. Now let me just simplify by taking x1 in common. If I want to take x1 in common, what are the coefficients? V11 minus V21 into x1 plus V21. Is it okay? Similarly, if B chooses the pure strategy B2, what will be the A's expected gain? V12 x1 V22 into 1 minus x1. V12 x1 plus V22 into 1 minus x1, so that it is giving me by doing the same thing. This is V12 minus V22 x1 plus V22. Okay, let me just continue. If B chooses to play Bn, then what is the expected gain? V1n into x1, V2n into 1 minus x1. Therefore, this is giving us finally as V1n minus V2n into x1 added with V2n. Is that okay? Now, if we just have a look to the expected gain for the player A. Look at these statements. So if looking at these statements, may I say those are the linear equations. Those are the linear equations in x1 only. And if those are the linear equations in x1 only, those can be represented by a straight line on a graph paper. Those can be represented by a straight line on the graph paper. And this idea was being generalized. This idea is being generalized. Here it was actually EG of x1 only. Right? So what is this first value? This is E1 of x1, this is E2 of x2 and so on. Okay? So let me write down what is E1 of x1. V11 minus V21 into x1 added with V21. What is E2 of x1? This is V12 minus V22 x1 plus V22. Continuing this, somewhere I will write some j term, Ej of x1. Can anyone tell me what is Ej of x1? Is it V1j minus V2j x1 added with V2j? Let me just continue with nth expectation, En of x1. This is V1n minus V2n into x1 plus V2n. Okay, so these are the expectation values and those are the linear equations. Those are the linear equations in x1. But what about x1? x1 we know as it is the probability, the value of x1 always lies between 0 and 1. The value always lies between 0 and 1. By knowing this fact, mathematicians at that time they have thought, why not to represent all those lines on a graph paper between the two lines x1 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1. Between the two lines x1 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1. Therefore, those linear equations are going to be plotted on the graph paper, or rather I can say on a graph paper between two axes x1 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1. Means we were not going to use our general two-dimensional plane, x-axis and y-axis. We were going to represent in the different form, because here we know the values of x1 exactly lies between 0 and 1. Is it clear to everyone? Is there any doubt up to this? For 2 by n games we were discussing. This is the payoff matrix. These are the probabilities. Therefore, we were discussing with respect to player A. First, we have calculated expected gain. Then we will find out minimum expected gain, and then we will go for maximum. Therefore, this is the idea of maximum criteria, right? Okay. Now the idea was introduced to plot it on a graph paper between two different axes. Axis x1 equal to 0 and axis x1 equal to 1. I will show you how to plot it in detail. Now, before going to the plotting, actually, if I put the value of x1 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1, what these expectation values will give us, we will check that first, right? Therefore, what about expectation? First expected gain for x1 equal to 0 and for x1 equal to 1. If I put the value of x1 equal to 0 here in this equation itself, this is 0, 1 minus x1, this gives me v21. Therefore, for x1 equal to 0, this will give us all the entries v21, v22, v2n. That is second row entries, right now? For x1 equal to 0, the entries on this line we will get it as v21, v22, v2n. If you feel a difficulty, you can ask. What is the entry we were getting here? V21, V22, V2j and V2n. Is that okay? Because to plot the line, we need only 2 points. And these are the 2 points we were marking. V21, V22, V2j, right? No? V21, V22, V2n. Similarly, if I put the value of x1 equal to 1, this second term gives me 0, right now? This is 0. Therefore, what the entries we will obtain if I put it as x1 equal to 1? May I say all the entries will be 1, 1, 1, 2 to 1n. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1j to 1n. Is that okay? These are the entries. Now, we were going to plot this entries on a graph between the two lines x1 equal to 0 and x2 equal to 0. Let me show you how. This is what one line I have drawn. Not cross, let me just redraw it. Okay, this is my axis 1 and this is my axis 2. Okay, this is for x1 equal to 0 and this is for x1 equal to 1. This is for x1 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1. Let me somewhere write down the value x1 equal to 0. I dotted line say. And we were keeping the distance between two axes to be 1 unit distance. This is x1 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1. This is x1 equal to 0. Now we were going to plot every expected gain line because this is a linear equation. This is going to represent a line. So we are going to plot a linear equation with the help of a straight line between these two axes. Okay, between these two axes. Now let me just put the entries here. Okay. These are the entries, say V21, with whatever it is. We cannot say about the entries, therefore we can plot it at any stage. Say this is V21, let somewhere it is V22, let somewhere it is Vj, etc. Okay, V2j. Somewhere I can plot, and here I can plot, say here it is V11, let it be V12, somewhere here let it be V1n. Okay, now what we were going to do, we were going to join the lines. First line we were going to join V21 and V11. V21 and V11. On x1 equals to 0, I will mark V21. On x1 equal to 1, I will mark V11. And we will just plot these two. We will just join these two lines. This is V21, this is V11, and we were going to join this by a straight line. Right? Next line will be joining 2, 2 and 1, 2. Where is where I have drawn? This is V22 and this is V12. Let me just draw it by the straight line. Is that okay? Let me draw some nth one. Let somewhere here be V1, V2n. Somewhere. Now let me just join the last one, V1n and V2n. V1n and V2n by the straight line. Okay, therefore these are the straight lines of expected gains. These are the straight lines of expected gain. But what we want to do for this expected gain, we want to first minimize it and then we want to maximize. Means we want to find out the value of x1 for which it is get maxed. Therefore, as we were interested in the minimum expected gain, therefore here one can observe very easily what is the minimum expected gain. The minimum expected gain are the values with this lowest boundary. So let me just redraw this. So these are the expected gain values and these are the minimum, because all the remaining gain are going to lie above this line. Therefore, what this is going to represent, this is my lowest boundary. This is my lowest boundary, okay, and which is going to represent the minimum expected gain. This is going to represent minimum expected gain. Okay, among this minimum expected gain, we will try to maximize it. Huh? Therefore, what is the maximum point or the highest point among this lowest boundary? This is the highest point, no? Correct now? This point. Say I'll mark the point by P. Therefore, this point is giving me maximum among minimum expected gain. This point is going to give us maximum among minimum expected gain. And whatever the two lines having a cross section, this P point will give me the optimal strategies for X1 and X2. Similarly, those two strategies, those two straight lines whose point of intersection is this point P, using these two strategies one can find out the optimal strategies for the player B, and there are only two lines being intersected. Therefore one can say that there are two optimal strategies with respect to player B as well. We have with respect to player A already two strategies. With respect to player B also we will get two strategies. Therefore the game is being reduced to 2 by 2 game. If once it is reduced to 2 by 2 type game, we can solve it by the arithmetic method or any method suitable. Is that clear to everyone? This is the graphical method. The simple idea behind this is just find out the expected gain values. These expected gain values are going to give us the linear equations in x1, and knowing x1 lying between 0 to 1, one can plot those linear equations as the straight lines between the two axes x1 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1. Once we plot it, somewhat this kind of sketch we will have in front of us. The lowest boundary will give us the minimum expected gains, right? And the highest point among the minimum expected gain will be our max mean point. Max mean point. Similarly, for 2 by n games, m by 2 games, we can solve it. Is that okay? Any difficulty in this? समजतंय का? मराठीत बोललं तरी चालेल. Okay. Shall I take one example on this? For 2 by n games. For m by 2, we'll take it in the next lecture. We will go for 2 by n games, graphical method for 2 by n games only. Okay? Understood the idea what to do? You have to you have to find out the expected gain, linear equations of expected gain, that is the straight lines. Then plot the straight lines like this. Lowest boundary will give us the minimum expected gain. Then highest point of the lowest boundary will give us the max mean point. Okay, and whatever the max mean point will give us the idea of the two strategies only. This will be the intersection of two strategies only. Okay, if this is the intersection of two strategies only, then these are the two strategies played by the player B as well. Therefore, the game reduces to 2 by 2. Once it reduces to 2 by 2, one can solve it by the methods which we have studied earlier. Shall I go for an example then? If you have a difficulty, you can just unmute yourself and ask. Very simple trick it is. You have to reply me something, whether you have understood or not. Or let me take one example. Okay. Okay, let me take one example. After an example, if the idea was clear, then it is good. Otherwise, we can discuss again. Solve the following game graphically. Okay, now the game is given. So, with probabilities x1 and 1 minus x1. Here it is 1, 2, strategies 1, 2. Here it is strategy 1, 2, 3. What is the order of the payoff matrix? Okay. First of all, we have to check whether the game has a saddle point or not. Because if the game has a saddle point, nothing to discuss about. Right? Because if the game is with a saddle point, it will give us a pure so pure strategies, no need for going to these probabilities and all. But as it was asked us to solve it by graphically, means the game should not have a saddle point. One can check. Tell me whether the game has a saddle point or not. What is the method we were following for finding the saddle point?
रो मिनिमम काढायचं फर्स्ट.
Hmm? What is row minima? 1
1
and
2
2. Then
then maximum
column maximas. What are the column
column
maximas?
maximum.
1, 8, 5 and 11. Right?
Okay.
Therefore, no element is in common to row minima and column maxima. Therefore, this is the game without saddle point. Right? This is the game without a saddle point. Therefore, we have to solve it by graphical method. Therefore, first what I will do, I will find out the age expected gain. Right now, player is expected payoff or gain. What is the expected gain or payoff? Let us find out by considering B is a pure strategy, one strategy at a time. B is pure strategy and A is expected payoff or gain. Right? Therefore, what B plays, suppose B plays 1, 2, 3 at a time respectively. Then what is A's expected payoff as per the formula? This is 1 into x1 plus 8 into 1 minus x1. Correct now? Let me write
Yes,
E of
ma'am.
x1. Or E1 of x1. This is 1 into x1 plus 8 into 1 minus x1. Therefore, if I just solve it, what it will be? This is 1 minus 8 minus 7x1 plus 8. Correct? What is the second expected gain? 3 into x1 plus 5 into 1 minus x1. What is the entry? 3 minus 5 minus 2x1 plus 5. What is the third expected gain? If B chooses to play third strategy, it's 11x1 plus 2 into 1 minus x1. So what is the value? 11 minus 2, this is plus 9x1 plus 2. Okay, those are the linear equations again. Okay, therefore A's expected payoff lines we have written. 3 expected payoff lines are. What are the lines? E1x1 minus 7x1 plus 8 into x1 is minus 2x1 plus 5. That the third e3x1 is 9x1 plus 2. Okay. Now what we were going to do? We will first draw two parallel lines, 1 unit apart, and make a scale to draw these pair of points, right? These two lines will represent the two strategies available to the player A, and the two lines will be determined for the player B as well. Okay, let me just draw the line then. Now, as all the pair of entries are non-negative, we can go for, depending upon this entries, you have to discuss how to draw the line. Okay, so for here, this is my axis 1. This is my axis 2. Okay, let me, as there is no negative entries here, I can write x1 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1. And let me just draw by the dotted lines. These two axes are one unit apart to one another, right? Now, if I just look at the pair of entries, if I want to draw this straight line E1 of x1, what I have to do? I have to check the value for x1 equal to 0 and for x1 equal to 1. As of we have discussed in the previous part, if I put x1 equal to 0, the entries on the axis I will get as 852, correct? If I put x1 equal to 1, the entries on the axis x1 equal to 1, I will get as 1, 3, 11. Therefore, we have to mark the points 852 on x1 equal to 0, 1, 3, 11 on x1 equal to 1. Okay, so let me just check. For x1 equal to 1, I have to go up to 11. Either I have 11 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 I have only. If I cannot go for 1 unit, I will get 2. If I read 2 units here, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Similarly here I will write 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 11. Now which points I have to join on x1 equal to 0? Which points I have to draw? x1 equal to 0. 8, 5, 2, right? Let me mark those points. 8, 5, 2. Here it is 8, somewhere here it is 5, and somewhere here it is 2. And what these entries are actually? 8, 5, 2. V, 2, 1. 5 is V, 2, 2. And this is V, 2, 3. Okay, I have marked these points. Now, what to mark on x1 equal to 1 line? On x1 equal to 1 line, these entries will be 0, 1, 3, 11 I have to mark. 1, somewhere here, 1, 3, 11. Okay, 1, 3, 11. What these entries are actually? 1, 1, 1, 2 and 1, 3. 1, 1, 1, 2 and 1, 3. Now what I have to join first? Yes, E1 x1 I have to draw. If I want to draw this straight line E1 x1, then first I will check for x1 equal to 0, then I will go for x1 equal to 1. x1 equal to 0 gives me 8 and x1 equal to 1 gives me 1. Therefore, I will join the 2 points 1 and 8 by your straight line. Okay, then I want to draw the second line. Therefore, for x1 equal to 0, this is 5, x1 equal to 1, this is 3. 5, 3 I want to join, right? I will tell you the shortcut also. Here is my 5, here it is 5 and 3 I want to join. Okay. Now the last 2 points remaining, this I have to join. Okay. And what is the shortcut in this? What you have to do is, you have to just plot V1j entries. You have to just plot V1j entries on this axis, V2j entries on this axis, and you have to join them serially. Okay, that is 1 should be joined with 1 2 should be joined with 2 1 3 should be joined with 2 3. Okay, you need to look at these lines also. Okay, 1 should be joined with 2. That is, whenever whatever this payoff matrix you have, no, this you have to join column wise. 1 8 3 5 11 1 8. So let us check. 1 8 3 5 11 2. Okay. Now after joining with this way, what we have obtained? We have obtained the minimum expected gain, and I just want to highlight this line, right? Lowest boundary I will highlight only. Correct now? Therefore, this green line will be the lowest boundary. Why we are finding lowest boundary? Because our aim is to find out minimum expected gain. These are the straight line. Every straight line is giving us an expected gain for the different values from x1 equal to 0 to x1 equal to 1. And for this combination, we were finding the minimum. Therefore, we were discussing only the lowest boundary. Once we find the lowest boundary, this will be the minimum expected gain. Okay. Now then what we want to do? We want to maximize the minimum expected gain. Therefore, with to this highlighted boundary, we will find out the highest point. Okay. What is the highest point on this line? This point will be the highest point. Let me draw it as P, and I can write this is the max min point. Maximum among the minimum expected gain. And easily if we observe, this point P is the intersection of the two lines joining 2313 and 2212. Therefore, we are not going to discuss the first column elements. These are the entries of second and third column. Right now, this is the entries of second and third column. Therefore, player B will chooses to play second and third column entries. Player B chooses to play second and third activities or strategies. It will not go for strategy number 1. As of this point, P is an intersection of two activities, second and third activity only. Is that okay? Therefore, now the game can be reduced. Clearly, here I'll just write the point clearly. Or I'll just mark some point also here. A, P, B, and C. Detailed explanation was written in the book. Okay. Points A, P, B, C from the lowest boundary. From the lowest boundary represent possible expected gain to player A for any value of x1 or any value of x1 between 0 and 1. Between 0 and 1. And according to maximum criteria, the player A chooses the best of worst outcome, right now? Clearly, the highest point P, clearly the highest point P on the lowest boundary will give largest expected gain. Gain Pn it will be. Okay. So best strategies for player B. Best strategies for player B are those which pass through point A. Which pass through point P. Okay. Thus the game reduced to 2/2. Okay. How it is being reduced to 2/2? Player has two optimal choices. Now for player B, we were selecting second and third, no? Because this point P is the intersection of second and third column. Therefore, the optimal the strategies chosen for the player B will be second and third. Therefore, what about their entries correspondingly? 3, 5, 11 and 2. Correct, na? We have just dropped the first column, 1 8, and we have written the remaining. Now, once I get this 2/2 matrix, then how can I solve it by the arithmetic method? Yes. How can I solve by arithmetic method? Find out the difference of first row element, put it under second row. 3 minus 11 is minus 8, neglecting negativity is 8. 5 minus 2, 3, let me put it under first row. Similarly, let me do it for column. Difference of first column, 3 minus 5 minus 2, neglecting negative 2, I will put it here. 11 minus 2, 9, 9 I will keep here. Then what are the values of probabilities? X1, X2 and Y1, Y2. Not Y1, Y2, this is Y2 and Y3, right? No? What for X1? Player A's optimal strategies are X1 equal to, yes. What will be a value of X1?
3/11.
Yes, it is 3/11. 3/3 plus 8, right now? What for X2?
8/11. 8/11.
11, good. What for player B's optimal strategies? Okay, for player B's optimal strategy, first value is going to be 0. Why? Because we were going to deal with only second and third strategy. Therefore, we will keep the probability corresponding to the first strategy as 0. Therefore, what is the value of Y2? Y2. Is it 9/9?
9/11.
Y3 is 2/11. Lastly, value of, okay. How we were finding the value of a gain? This is finding the determinant value. What is determinant? 3 to the 6 minus 11 into 5, 55. 6 minus 55 upon Same denominator, no? 11. Because this is minus 49 by 11 is the value of a gain. This is what a solution is. For this graphical method helps us just to reduce any m by 2, 2 by n gain to 2 by 2. Once we reduce it to 2 by 2, good method we have with us is an arithmetic method to solve. Okay, this is what a solution of the gain of m 2 by n type. In next lecture, we will go for m by 2 type gain. Same methodology, same structure. If any difficulty in today's lecture, you can unmute yourself and ask. I can give some examples to solve. I'll just give some examples to solve. Okay, try solving these examples. And next lecture, we will go for the gains of m by 2 type. That is m rows and 2 columns only. Here we have seen an example of 2 rows and n columns. We will go for the m by 2 type of gain in the next lecture. Let me stop for today. If you have other difficulty, you can ask. Yes, students. If there is no difficulty, let me stop for today. Thank you for being with me for this lecture.